Let's go. I'm 27 years old, Joe Thompson coach. I met Clinton not long ago, actually, but we hit it off right immediately. I was walking on the street with my mom, and he's like, "What's up, man? I think I might have seen you." I'm like, "No, I know you for sure." And then from there, we were in the same coaching groups, and I saw him elevate. He saw so much in me that I didn't see in myself at the time. But to get into my story, I was growing up in a small town in Ohio, 5,000 people, and it's called Nelsonville. No one's heard of it.
Damn.
You don't want to know about it. I was like in a high school of 100 people in my graduating class. And so it was very easy to be like a big fish in a small pond. But always growing up, I had this feeling like I'm supposed to do something big with my life. And there was no proof around me of like what that looked like. I didn't have the path. All I had was an inner voice calling me to do something different. And that's what I did. I followed that calling. And it took me a few years later, I picked up a pair of clippers. At 15, a pair of Walmart clippers that my mom bought me. Started cutting my own hair, butchering myself. I've been in the mirror cussing like, damn, just give myself a bald spot, but I'm trying my best to give myself a good haircut, and I can't help it. I love it. I'm doing it for free. I gave thousands of haircuts, most of them for like $5, $10, free haircuts. And that's where my start came into like being an entrepreneur or just sharing my journey in general. I documented the whole story of me being in the basement. There used to be water flooding in there. I told Clinton before this that we both came from a similar beginning of growing up in a trailer park.
Yeah.
After I got out the trailer park, we went to a house that I stayed in the basement. And in that basement, it's cold, rainy days in Ohio. Every week, consistently, it would flood. I would wake up sopping wet on my socks. And so my whole life changed when I got tired of that situation. We're gonna break into that. The first thing that happened was a roach crawled on my forehead. And I'm like 16, 17 years old. I've been cutting my own hair and my friend's hair for a couple years. But I was looked at as like, bro, you don't know what you're doing with your life. Like barbers don't do anything special. So you clearly like aren't gonna do anything good. And I was dealing with that judgment, not only the pain of others, but deep down inside, I knew I wasn't following the calling I mentioned earlier that I felt my entire life growing up. And I had this urge to move across the country and be surrounded by people who were successful. So the reason I decided was because one morning I woke up and it's like 6 a.m. Usually I'm sleeping in way late. A lot of the things I was doing then, I don't support now, like smoking a bong every day. Like, bro, I would walk back to that younger version of me, take the bong, break it against the PlayStation. Like, what are you doing? Wasting your life. That's what I always needed. Growing up without my father, I had that calling, but no confidence.
Sure.
The voice, Joe, you should do something great. You should be great. You should be great. Mom's teaching me to be nice and humble and kind and sweet. So I'm just nice and kind and humble and sweet.
Yeah.
No, I need to be a savage. That story I was telling about waking up to the roach crawling on my forehead.
Oh, God.
That was real.
Ugh.
My mom always says water bugs. I'm like, nah, Mom, it was a roach. In my mind, that was a roach.
It was
this big, you know, and I watched it jump off my face, start crawling off the bed.
Oh, hell no.
And I tried to smack it and it escaped. And I'm like, I can't go back to sleep now. Like,
oh, God.
I can't.
My mouth was open.
Hell no. And so if you ever turn the lights on, you would see them scatter, you know, in the middle of the night, as well as the feet getting wet from the basement flood every week. There was no stopping it. We would try to like plug up any holes. It just was this force on my life, like a dark cloud. And I had to either answer that calling and go do something different or just put up with it. And it was a time in my life where I made that decision was that roach crawling on my face. It was like an alarm clock that morning, but also an alarm clock to like my young adolescent life of like, bro, your life's gonna turn out just like this. Look around, bro. Everybody settles here. And I was listening to Earl Nightingale, his Strangest Secret recording, and he said that the biggest like threat to mankind is complacency.
Oh yeah.
Conformity.
Yeah.
I think he said. And so I was conforming up to that point, but then I just flipped a switch, bro. Like, I'm not staying here. I don't care. I'd rather die than like stick around and see what this gets me. So that's what I did. I had a mentor who, just like how you're being, they either make us insecure or they make us inspired. Thankfully, I was prepared for the feedback you gave me that day because it probably did trigger a little bit of insecurity.
Pissed you off, I'm sure.
Like, yeah, I couldn't stop thinking about that shit. The next day, I hit you up and I'm like, hey, bro, what did you mean by that?
Constant.
So that's what this new mentor did for me when I was 17. He was the best barber in Ohio. He cuts the football players like Ezekiel Elliott, NFL players that went on to go to the NFL. And he cut hair in his house. Changed my mindset because I'm like, maybe I don't have to be a traditional barber. This guy's like the top guy and he's not even in the shop.
They come to his house.
They come to him. They pay him a lot more. So that changed my mindset right off the gate. And then he said these words to me that changed my trajectory forever. I told him my plans. I said, bro, there's a few barbers in California that they're just the same age as me, but they drive Benzes and cut top people and have all these followers.
Sure.
And I'm just some kid in the basement. Like, I really like them though. He's like, well, don't be surprised Joel, when you go there and you become the best one in that shop. I was like, bro, you don't know me or like where I come from. I'm not special.
Yeah.
I had that limiting belief that we all have.
He saw it in you.
That we're not special enough to be like the greats.
Right.
You know? And so he broke that for me.
Sure.
And he believed in me so much, just like how you do right now.
Yeah.
To make impact. You changed my life, bro. Just that word, how your mentor helped you say that one sentence.
Yeah.
When you said, Joe's going to be a killer, but I can tell he's holding himself back. And I was like, damn it, this guy doesn't even know me. He just saw me and was able to, with that much conviction, call me out. That's what got me as well. Like in the barber game, there's not much competition.
Yeah, it's easy.
Like most barbers are at $3K a month and they're okay with that.
Yeah.
They're conformed with like, yeah, that's just kind of what I make is, whatever the shop gives me is what I get. And I'm like, bro, I'm going to go talk to strangers.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Tell them I'll give them a free cut so that I can make the video because I know the video will get more people. Like I was just doing whatever I could.
Yeah, you're hustling.
From an early point, I realized that like a personal brand would help me in barbering as well. That mindset shift in any profession, I feel like, is a big one.
Yeah.
That most people just haven't really like fully computed the importance of that, like a brand. We're getting millions of views, but lately I've been getting million view videos for like people putting a lot of hate comments. Everyone who commented, they were triggered that I said, if you think of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. You're still stuck at $40 cuts because you're around people who do $40 cuts. And they were like, no haircut should cost that. I get the $40 cut and it's better than your cut.
No, it's not.
Look at him, he's surface level, but he's faking the knowledge. Like they were just giving me all these like picking me apart. I had a Louis bag in my hand, so they were like,
oh, it was that post.
They were like, oh, the Louis bag's probably empty.
Oh,
like
God.
I was like, bro. And I took an Uber. And so they were like, oh, he's driving an Uber. Yeah, like he doesn't even have the car. It's a good feedback for me that my page, most videos maybe get 10K, 20K, 50K views. That one got like 600K. I forget.
That's a lot.
And that's the most comments I've ever gotten. Obviously, 90% of them are like people hating, but that gives me, now I have your attention. Now I'm going to give you my story. Like you guys don't know that I was the guy who was stuck at $20 cuts in my hometown. But I took that one-way flight after the mentor gave me that advice.
Right. Don't
be surprised when you go there. You become the best one in the shop that you're looking up to as like the GOATs.
Right.
And I'm like, bro, you don't understand. Like I'm not special. I'm the $20 cut guy.
I'm a $20 cut.
They're $100 cut people,
Yeah.
And I went on to charge $200, so it became true. Everything that he's spoken to me.
He saw it.
He saw it. And when I got there, the craziest thing was I saved up for like the rest of the year. I saved like $1,000 a month in a shoebox in my mom's basement.
Wow.
In the roof, there was like
leak.
The ceilings that you can move.
Oh,
it was like
shit.
white foam ceilings. You can like fold it
the
back.
drop ceilings?
And so I had a shoebox up there and no one knew about this. They were assuming that I was making no bread off the haircuts, but I had no bills. So every dollar I made, I saved.
Just put it in the shoebox.
And 10 months later, I booked a flight. I recorded myself doing it, and I'm like, guys, I don't know where this is gonna take me, but I have nothing to lose. Look around. And I'm in this basement with no walls, no paint on the walls. It's like run down. The window is terrible. It's a terrible situation. And
I think it was great. What you talking about? I think it was great.
Oh, I hated it at the time, but if I had to look back, I would be grateful as well. And so I walked upstairs and I said, Mom, I just bought a flight. I'm moving to California. And she starts crying. She's like, no, like, I'm worried about you. Like, I was basically her best friend, and like a world full of like grim, that dark cloud wasn't just around me, it was around her too.
Sure.
So we used to eat meals together, kick it, all that, watch like YouTubers that were teaching business. I was just locked in, and anything I did, she was kind of supporting. She bought me the Clippers.
She's a good mom.
She believed in me. She bought me the pair of Clippers, and she was okay with me cutting hair at home, in the garage, in the living room, porch, you name it.
Yeah.
Mom, I got 2 clients coming. Is that all right? Yeah, sure, Joel. So she's crying, and she's like, what's your plan? And I'm like, I don't need a plan. I'm going.
Just doing it.
And so I got a phone call. There was a shop owner out there that goes by Chuka the Barber, and it's called The Rich Barber. He has a shop.
Yeah.
And it's like the completely different approach, full of all these guys who are driving the Benzes and cutting the celebrities. And I messaged him, and I said, if I ever had a chance to be like an apprentice and learn from you, I would learn a lot. Like it would change my life. And he said, okay, holla at me. And I said, quick phone call. And then he sent the phone number. That was the conversation thread that changed the trajectory of my barber journey and life, really.
Right.
4 messages back to back. Okay, holla at me. Quick phone call. And then, bro, I sat there shaking, like nervous. And I'm like, because the Joel who's like peaceful and calm and polite and nice now needs to be like a shop owner who has no idea who I am and doesn't need me. Yeah, let me convince you. So I'm like about to change into a whole new me, but I'm like in that moment of like, oh, it's time.
Yeah.
And I almost didn't want to call him. I was like, maybe I just wait, you know, but I wrote down how the convo should go. And I'm like, okay, so here's my elevator pitch. I wrote down that I said how many books I read. I said I bought a course on social media. I said that I'm in college. I had all these things, which I ended up dropping out. But
Me too. Don't feel bad.
and no, yeah, I'm proud now. College dropout, retired barber, all of that. But I told him the elevator pitch, and he said, okay, we might have a spot for you. To me, that was like, yes, you're in, fly here, and everything's taken care of. To me, that was like all I needed. Like my mind, something shifted. Like, oh, this thing that was in my head that the mentor last time said I could go be the best, he basically just confirmed it. You know? Like the door has just opened for me. I just need to walk through it. So I bought the flight, told my mom, and she's like, what's your plan? And I'm like, he said that they have a spot for me, so I'll figure it out.
Sure.
Bro, I stayed in a hostel for the first 7 days. It was $40 a night. No, I didn't know anyone.
Sure.
Didn't even know him, you know?
Yeah.
But I walked there. I got obviously no car. I was Ubering and stuff. And I had the 10,000. I put like 1,000 into a social media course. So I had like 8,500 left in the bank. I put it all in the bank. The bank didn't trip, but it was all cash. And so the craziest thing was I get there with the suitcases. I go to the barbershop and I'm meeting the owner for the first time. Once again, I'm getting the shivers. Oh shit. Yeah. This is your one shot, like pretty much. Yeah. I was willing to like be homeless. I really didn't care. Like I just wanted to move. So I get there and there's another guy interviewing the shop for the last seat in the barbershop. So I'm like, oh shit, maybe he's gonna take my spot, you know? But I just calmly wait. He lets him interview and look around. He leaves and he walks up to me. And here I am meeting the guy who I've been watching online for all this time. And I'm recognizing the guys in the shop and I'm just like, this is a movie, this is crazy. And he asked me, okay, so tell me about yourself, bro. Like, where you from and all that. We give each other the whole elevator pitch. I tell him, yo, bro, the path has always revealed itself for me. I just kept taking the next step. I was the college barber. Then I was like the guy who was charging the most in my town, but I hit a ceiling and like I always felt called to do something great. This is what I wanted to do. And he says, okay, great. I'm glad you checked out the shop. When are you gonna go back to Ohio? And I looked at him like, back to Ohio? He thought I was visiting.
Oh shit.
I said, bro, I moved here. Like, I'm not just coming to check out the shop. So it was like the first time I experienced like a spiritual thing happen where the universe just said, this is what you're gonna do. Don't even entertain the thought of another path.
Yeah.
It's done. Just make the boldest decision you can. And like the quote I heard was, if you're presented with two paths, one where it's less trodden, but you fear it a lot, and one where everybody goes, take that one, and then the fear will move out the way. So I took the path I feared the most, bought the one-way ticket, and then he's just like, okay, you'll start next week.
Wow.
And so he told me later, like, yeah, like I'd never seen like even grown men do something like that, like move across the country. So I believed in you just off of your courage. That was like chapter one. You asked me earlier, like what was the story of going up? Like that was the foundation.
Yeah.
Once I got in there, I learned everything. It was sink or swim. So I learned every haircut day I did, it was really a content day. I wasn't even doing haircuts. I was like learning videos. I just cared so much about my Instagram and like making videos that I learned that skill for 2 years. My haircut price never really changed. I'm triggering the same version of me that I once was, like the $40 cuts. You're stuck at $40 cuts. That was me. I was stuck at $40 for like 2 years, which when I talk to most barbers, that's like their cap. Like the limiting belief is like universal right there. Yeah, and that's the same with the haircut. Yeah. Like once I went from 40 to 60 in Sacramento. That's where that first one-way ticket was. There was then a shop that opened up in LA, the same owner. And I was waiting on getting my barber license. And I called him and I said, hey man, like as soon as I get my license, I would like to work in the LA shop. And he said, bro, you don't have to wait to get your license. You can just come now. So I dropped everything in Sacramento. Once again, brand new start. I just loved the idea of taking like the jump. So when you tell me stuff like, bro, you're a star, you should be this, I'm like,
you just
do
it.
Okay.
You just do it. You just need a little push.
What jump do I need to make? Like, put me in. My whole life, I grew up wondering what is the answer to like this whole purpose or who am I supposed to be? Where am I supposed to go? And I resonate so much with the younger version of me who grew up without his dad. For you, you had your dad, but he didn't guide you the way.
There's some ways I had a dad, and when I was young, I didn't. So it's different. So,
yeah. And so like that right there, even to this day, I'm in touch with that young Joel who was lost. So when I went to LA, I'm calling my mom on a lunch break. She actually called me and I said, Mom, I think I made a mistake coming to LA.
Right.
I have no clients here now. Like just a month ago, everything was fine. I was making like 5 or 6K. I was what not Napoleon Hill, but Earl Nightingale would say, I was conformed like to the normal barber life.
Sure.
But something was calling me to do more. I didn't know 20K was the amount I could make as a barber. I didn't really care about the money. I just knew I needed to make another jump. Every time my conscience says jump and I don't do it, it's like hell on earth. It's like, why am I even living?
It's bad.
So I called, she called me and I said, Mom, I think I made a mistake. Like, I don't know why I even came here. It's just, every day I go to the shop, there's nobody in the shop.
Yeah.
And because I had like the most followers at that time, like 50K maybe. This is 2019, 2020, and I'm 22 years old. All the other barbers are also no clients. And every day they're like mouth breathing, like poor posture, like
Mouth breathing.
like just like looking at their phone, like just instead of like going and getting clients, they're just like
just fucking angry,
complaining that there's no motion. And I'm like, let me get out of here. So I walk around Beverly Hills, LA, in this nice neighborhood where we just can't seem to get clients. And my mom says, Joel, are you doing your affirmations? And I was like, affirmations? No, I kind of stopped doing those. She said, Joel, you need to make your faith louder than your doubts. She told me to start like speaking, I'm going to be this. This is why I'm here. So my mom has always like nudged me like that. I just missed this. You said Joel's good, but I don't sense the killer in him. Yeah, I really do feel like that now. Like, oh shit, my purpose. Napoleon Hill said that when a man finds his purpose, it's like the riches will come so fast, he'll wonder where they've been his whole life. We just created a new mentorship. So I was talking about the guy I was talking to when I walked in here, Mario. He's making 10K a month. He's 20 years old. And he started 75 a cut and 100 a cut. He's about to go up to 100. And he's told me, I asked him, what is his goal? It wasn't even monetary. He said, bro, I want to spread positivity.
Oh, I love it. That's why he's going to be great.
The way he grew up was not positive. He's like, I just want everybody to believe in themselves, chase their dreams, man. I was like, bro, you have 23,000 followers. He started in a free group, a free community we have. It's called Top Barbers Community.
Sure.
He messaged me and said, hey, bro, I've been in your free community. I just got 10K followers in my first month.
Wow, that's a star.
I said, damn. And he said, yeah, now I want to see what your mentorship is like. Because if this is free and I got 10K followers. So then now he's been in the program with me for 3 months. He's now making more income, but with less time. He's only working 28 hours a week. He does 3-hour days during the week. And he does like a 9-hour day on the weekends.
Dope.
So all of his other time now.
Content.
Yeah. And he's teaching barbers how to cut hair now. So he's gonna have like a course where he teaches barbers how to cut hair.
Dope.
He's an entrepreneur. He's 20 years old.
He's killing it.
And his dream is he said he wants to be like Lil Baby. He wants to make like 100K a month. I told him you're gonna have to move to Miami, bro. When people send you an invoice, can you just pay it fast, like immediately? My favorite quote is you get paid how you pay. So I remember the day Clinton sent me the invoice for this. I was like, okay, this is the price, cool, boom. I go to pay it, I'm like, boom, done. That's who I wanna be. It's like, a selfless energy. We gotta talk about how it's like metaphysical. It's not just logical numbers. It's like, for so long I was stuck at 6K a month. At some point, I started giving way more value than I was receiving in the haircut price.
Sure.
That they were like ecstatic with their experience. From the second they walk in to the second that they leave, they're like, their brain is like, what just happened? I've never experienced a barber, a person, a haircut, quality of a experience like this before. That was different. There was something about that. And then they go posting about it and telling people.
Sure.
So my life changed the most. First of all, like this right here, just pay.
This is crazy.
Give the money first. Like whenever somebody charges you anything, tip the waiter, tip the whoever. But yeah, when I started giving more than I was actually asking in a payment, that was the value. And I went from 6K a month as a barber stuck to 20K plus in less than 8 months. Most people don't even believe that when I tell them that. They're like, yeah, right, how? Well, it's what Wes always says is who.
It's who you need to become.
I became someone who gave like just even the way I hug people and handshake them and remember their name and give them a hot towel, you know? And then they just promote me for myself. It became like the law of least effort. Like I just wake up every day and people are like, hey man, are you available? I got a wedding or whatever. I'll pay you double.
That's crazy.
Like, holy shit, sure, bro. And they send it before they come. Like, here you go, I just zelled you, bro. Keep my spot reserved. I'll see you tonight.
Yeah, they need it.
And that just kept happening. And I was like, I couldn't run away from the money if I tried. Like it was just flowing in. I mean, I was very grateful because the group of guys that I attracted basically are versions of me, my younger self. And Clinton came in and ripped them apart, built them down, and then he built them back up, broke them down and built them back up. By the time they walked out the door, they did 80 push-ups. Some of them might have a bicep vein now. We're still getting on the other ones. But the story that you just told reminds me of the guys in that room. Yeah. You weren't ready yet, but you took the opportunity.
Sure.
Like just make the fucking jump. Sometimes I'm on calls with barbers and they're like ready to join the program, but they're a little nervous.
Just go.
And I'm like, bro, you don't need money right now. Like that version of you, if you were penny pinching and like, hey, you guys should be paying me. I'm doing all these videos for you guys.
It wouldn't have worked.
Bro,
it wouldn't have worked.
You don't need the money. You're gonna make so much money on the back end if you just build the person. And these barbers are like, oh, but like the program costs this much. Like, how much am I gonna see like on day one? I'm like, bro, you don't need money right now. You're like skin and bones. You stutter when you talk. Like you don't even understand social media. You have 40 followers and you're in 300 view jail right now, bro. The last thing you need is to get like a better price on a cheaper program that's gonna keep you stuck. You need speed, bro. You need to like become the version of you who knows all this top to bottom and evolves and transcends past just trading your time for money, who can actually make a difference. Like your free time right now is going to the barbershop and the bad habits. But when Clinton came to that mastermind, he basically told them all.
I killed him.
Like, bro, one of the barbers said he doesn't post every day because of time. I don't know, but Clinton was like, hey, babe. She was up at the penthouse loft, the top floor of the loft. He's like, babe, do you got an extra tampon that you could throw down here? And I thought he was joking. She's the realest, bro. She's the realest. Like, that's how you know you got a ride or die chick, when she's willing to participate and shit like that. Cause it actually did like impact the room and the effect of, she threw a tampon from the top floor to the middle of the room in front of like 12 students, the cameraman, everything.
All men.
Right in front of bruh. And Clinton walks up and pushes it towards him and says like, here you go. Looks like that's a problem that you might have. Like you can't post every day. And so these are the things that the version of you who is developed, right now you're underdeveloped as a barber, and that's why you're making $4K a month. If we take you and develop you in all the right skills, you don't need a tampon anymore. Now you can actually be a big boy and make big boy numbers, 20K plus. You're either lazy, stupid, or arrogant if you don't get a mentor. And I don't think that people are stupid. I actually think they're arrogant. I think that I got to where I did as a barber quick because every stage, even if it was just a local mentor, I always had a mentor saying, hey, you could do more than you think. You could go to Cali and be the best barber in the shop that you're dreaming of being in. Then I got there and the owner's like, you could do this. Like the 28K a month came after 6 months of consistent low income months and feeling like I'm gonna quit, but I just kept going. And the quote is, our doubts and fears are traitors which make us lose the good that we might have won by fearing to attempt. So I always took a jump. That's my main message. Take the jump. Like if you're afraid, I would be more afraid of staying stuck at $40 cuts. The quote I gave that triggered everybody. I've actually put my mentorships on credit cards when I was like, oh, it's a little tight. Just put it on there. And I've now invested 100K in mentors. So when I get on a sales call and people are like worried about, I don't feel any like guilt or like fear for them. Cause I'm like, bro, I've done this literally 10 times now. And you're doing
10 times. I've done exactly what you've done, way more.
Everything on the line, yeah.
You can
possibly learn a skill that there's no guarantee. There's never a guarantee. I mean, I'm as close to a guarantee as I can get with like what I believe in as far as the program getting a barber result. You have to be okay with that.
How is that possible?
You gotta be okay with every time I've gotten like a massive breakthrough, it came after me being like, this is pointless. Like I think I'm about to give up. The phone call with my mom, I think I should just go back to Sacramento. Shit, maybe I should go back to Ohio. No, Joel. No such thing. So
does mama live here?
She does now. Mom moved to Miami, man.
Okay, dope.
Yeah,
good.
Gotta bring the real ones with you. Yeah, exactly. I told you this last time. Clinton asked me this, and he's like, "You got a girlfriend?" I was like, "No." He's like, "Why?" I was like, "I'm still building the man." He's like, "Yeah, but you can at least go talk to some women, right?"
Exactly.
Like, get out there, bro. And I'm like, "Bro, but I'm at home closing deals. Like I'm in the making content. I'm making Zoom calls. I'm at home working." He's like, "No, bro. Your level up is when you're on the elevator. You ain't even talking to her on the elevator." So I've like massively changed how I look at my day-to-day life. And I make it a challenge to talk to like everybody I see.
People. Yeah, that's good.
And the people ask me now, like, Joel, how do I become more extroverted and confident? And I'm like, damn, here it is again. The person that's just like me, going over the same thing I was going through. And so I just tell them, bro, ask questions. Like I'll literally look at someone and be like, hey, where'd you get the shoes? Where'd you get the hat? Like there's no better way to get around like the right people and like get their attention is them to see you changing like quick. Like, oh, okay, I see where he's headed. I actually, want to be around someone like that because you might not be, like I might not be financially the same level as the guys that I'm hanging around with. I don't have a Rolex on my arm, but if someone sees that you're putting in the work, you're improving, every time they see you, you've implemented what they mentioned last time. I love that. I love having mentors. I'm like, hey man, what you told me it worked. Like I put on an extra 10 pounds. How am I looking? Not there yet? All right, I'm gonna keep going. We both came from trailer parks. We both had a father, didn't have a father, but the experience we had in our childhood did not give us what we knew we were destined for. We both, at some point, had mentors on our journey that expanded the trajectory of who we became. We got in the room with the right people, and we weren't stupid, lazy, or arrogant, which is what usually stops most. I think it's really arrogance. I don't think people are stupid. I think there's plenty of information out there. We got out of our own way, just like Clinton told me, Joel's gonna be a savage, but I don't sense the killer in him. Well, if you feel that, then take the step, take the jump. Your calling is always there, waiting for you, but no one's gonna do it for you. That was the biggest realization I had. Every jump I made, when I got there, I'm like, oh shit, I thought the jump was the hard part. Now I'm in the game and I gotta perform. That's the hard part. No one's coming to save me. Just like when I was a little kid and I was looking for a parent or a guidance, or no one was coming. It's all within you. The answers are already there. You already have exactly what you need to make a pivot. I just made a pivot in my business that 10x'd everything in the last few days. My coach said, Joel, you need to change the way you model this. We were able to double the price and get a couple full pays using like different affirmed payment plans, whatever. I didn't even know that existed, but I was open to changing it. And there's a chance for you to do the same, but not if you don't take the jump, take the risk. So that's what this whole thing was about. I love the jump.